This is Absolute Ricky Starks, and you are looking at one of the best damn wrestlers, sports entertainers, movie actors, models, philanthropists, and all else above right now. And don't forget, I want you to watch All Out this Sunday live from Chicago, Illinois. Don't forget, you're watching this on one place only, in one place. That is the Battleground Podcast.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. And this week is a big week for wrestling fans, most notably for AEW fans. And of course, you've got AEW All Out that's happening this week. And of course, you can get it on pay-per-view. You can watch it on Bleacher. And we've got a guy that's been on the show, and a lot has changed since the last time we talked to the one and only Ricky Starks joins us on the show. There he is. Look at that.
Absolute Ricky Starks.
Absolute Ricky Starks. I mean, last time we talked to you, you were just kind of getting your feet wet into AEW, and it's been a little over a year or so, and things have changed since then. So how are you doing heading into AEW All Out?
I'm feeling really good, actually. I have revenge on the mind, and I think this is a big test to not only myself, but a good indicator of how much further I'm going to go, especially with All Out being this Sunday.
Yeah, and it's going to be wild. And I kind of want to, I guess, talk about this real quick. Go take a step back. What was the experience like being the face? And I'm going to say this: you were the face of Team Taz until the group kind of dissolved.
Right. I mean, hey, it is what it is. It was great for what it was. And you know, I've kind of moved past that. That's behind me now. But being the face of Team Taz is great, just for the simple fact that if no one else was going to step up, then someone had to. That type of thing.
Right. And I mean, it was great watching you just become. I mean, we already knew you were a superstar from going back to like the days in NWA, and then you came to AEW. Like me and my co-host Eli, who couldn't be here, we were like superstar written all over Ricky Starks. Like, this guy, I guarantee you, within the next couple of years, we'll have championship gold. Now you got the FTW, but we're talking bigger picture. Yeah. We're talking AEW championship. We're talking about getting more gold around your waist, not tag team championship. That's beneath Ricky Starks. We're talking about the big deal, big gold championship belt for AEW. But, besides anger, was there disappointment in the way the group ended?
I don't think so. Obviously we had, I think the catalyst of all of it was Hobbs, if we're being frank here. But I don't think there was disappointment at all. I think it was time to move on. And I mean, if you look at it now, it doesn't seem to be much of any type of loss with the group or with, the FTW championship. As we can see that it's being promoted a lot more now. It's being showcased a lot more than it was when I was champion. So, it's cool to see that in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you got your hands full this weekend on Sunday, AEW All Out. If you're in the Chicago area, you can grab tickets, aewtix.com, but you can also watch it on pay-per-view. And if you're outside the country, you can watch it on Fight, I do believe. So Dynamite recently in New Orleans back in April, and you were given literally the hero's welcome. Like, that was the loudest pop I've ever heard on TV. Can you describe that evening and the pop you received? And was that like a top 5 moment for you?
It was, honestly, it was a great reaction, a great reception. Literally, that arena was 8 minutes from my old home, my childhood home. It's such a special moment to reflect on, just because my family was there, the reaction. I felt like that was really the moment of, just telling people higher ups backstage, like, look, this is what you got on your hands. And I'm the man.
Yeah.
And, even beyond that, there's always going to be some type of asterisk next to certain things that happens to you in life, positive things. And even beyond not being in my hometown, I was still getting those same reactions. So it was very, very cool. It's hard to really summarize in my feelings of what I felt. I do remember going back to the hotel and like just sitting in my shower and just kind of crying a bit because of a full circle type ordeal. Just being, I only watched wrestling my entire life, so to do that and then come back and wrestle in my hometown was just bizarre. It was insane.
Right. What did your family? What was their reaction about to the whole evening?
They loved it. They had so much fun. It was a blast to see me perform. I think that was their first time, all of them. Well, it'll be the second time, but that was their second time all together seeing me perform live in such a bigger setting. I think the first time they saw me was at some convention show in Vegas where I wrestled Sammy Guevara, and before me and Sammy Guevara went out, they showed a 20-guy tribute video package of all the people that passed away and kind of killed the crowd. So that was their first intro to seeing me wrestle. But
yeah,
I'm glad that we can change that.
For sure. And of course, they got to witness it, and it just went completely nuts at that show. So let's kind of focus on what's happening in the current day right now. I mean,
Right.
you and Hobbs, quite the duo, even competing for the World Tag Team titles not too long ago. What was your initial thought of Hobbs, and what drew you two together?
Well, I think what drew us together was just the addition of Team Taz off the bat, but Hobbs is he has a, I don't know how to explain it. He has a very strong presence sometimes, and you would think he's this evil, menacing guy on the front, but then on the back end, he's actually very intelligent and very caring. So I think that's what really helped out that whole type of tandem between me and him. And then there was a genuine friendship between me and him. So stuff like that. But as you can tell, what happens in wrestling is that people get a little bit greedy, or they feel a little bit more, what's the word? Like self-deserving of things. And they create these scenarios in their head that isn't true or real, or
Right.
Someone's out. The paranoia sets in. You can see it from the top all the way to the bottom. And that's one of the worst things to happen in wrestling, is to have paranoia just creep into your mind like that. And once that happens, it's kind of you kind of self-destruct.
Yeah, and that's not good heading into Sunday, because it seems like you guys know each other very well, and it seems like you might have the kind of upper hand on this. So, of course, All Out is this Sunday, live in Chicago and on pay-per-view. Your match is one of the most personal ones of the night. What can we expect to see from the bout that good old JR has said very well could steal the show?
Well, I mean, you can expect a lot of passion from me. I think there's a lot of revenge that I want to get out. Beyond that too, I think there's a point that I want to prove. A point because I made a tweet not too long ago, I want to say earlier this year, where I said I will never be left off the pay-per-view again, and I meant that. And so far, I have stepped true to my word. And I think this is a moment to really prove, at the end of the day, I am Ricky Starks, and I have a lot of value. I have a lot of value within myself and what I provide. And I think due to the fanfare too, you can't deny that. And so eventually what's going to happen is the fans are going to revolt, and they're going to turn, and they're going to say, hey, we demand this guy. We demand to see this guy every week. We demand to hear this guy talk. And when that happens, it's kind of too late,
Yeah.
The Bulls are off. So pay-per-view this Sunday, All Out. It's a time for me to really showcase who I am and what I'm about in a singles individual setting, a role, So I'm looking forward to it in that regard. I know the card is stacked, but sheesh, come on. It's me.
We already know what's going to steal the show. And I mean, I sit back and think back to that very emotional promo that you had on TV. And like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, you could see the pure emotion in that promo that you cut right there in the middle of the ring, getting prepared for this match. And I'm just like, dude has it. Like, we have established it numerous times. Everybody has said it. You have it. You are definitely a superstar. And I mean, the rocket's going to be strapped to your back.
It's an emotional thing to talk about my neck, because I don't think people really understand the severity of it. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. To me, that was a very personal and scary thing that happened to me. And especially when you weren't even I wasn't even in control of that. So that's the scary part of it, having it taken away from you and you not be in control of the situation. So when I talk about it, that's why I rarely like to talk about it, because of it being so personal, because this is really all I have in a sense. I didn't play any sports, or I didn't do anything else. I only did wrestling. And to kind of feel like when I, broke my neck, to feel like, hey, you didn't even have a chance to come off the line and now you're already out. That right there is scary. And I don't really expect people to relate to that. But fuck, man, let's get on to something else.
Yeah, for sure. So with all the after you settle your deal with Hobbs, you get through that, you beat him, and we're gonna go ahead and say you're gonna beat him because we know.
Of course.
Do you throw your name in the hat for a world championship match?
Absolutely.
So are we because we've established we're not going after the TNT title. We're not going to try to go after a tag title.
We're going for the TNT too, yeah, but we're going for the AEW World as well. I don't understand why I can't have both.
I mean, you could possibly. You could be the belt collector. I mean, Kenny did it.
Yeah.
I mean, why not have both belts?
Why can't I?
Exactly. So I see that, and I see, you kind of keeping your eye on that main event of, what's going to happen with Moxley, who's going to come out there, what's going to happen there. And I think, Ricky Starks and Moxley is going to be a fun match to watch for that AEW World Championship.
I agree. I think also, before the injury of Punk, I really had my sights set on getting a shot at Punk. And I still think that can happen as well. But I feel like either guys in this scenario, I would obviously fare well with and hang in there. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
That those Starks and Punk, Starks and Moxley, or Starks, Punk, and Moxley in a triple threat, that's going to be killer. And put it on a pay-per-view. Tony, I know you're watching this and listening to this, so put it on a pay-per-view right now. So something that's interesting, and of course, we being fans of wrestling, and you see all the chatter on the IWC about the backstage environment that's been a big topic lately. After hearing everybody talking about it, you could tell that there's something different than what people are reading online. What has the locker room been like since you joined AEW, and what is your response to the good old IWC chatter about issues behind the scenes?
The locker room has definitely changed. I mean, where we were once really, really close, we've expanded that, and we're still close, but we just have more people in the family now, more people that sit at the table. I definitely think that the drama of the backstage stuff, while it does, pique the interest of people online and whatnot, I fucking hate it. And the reason I hate it is because it kind of overshadows some of the stuff that happens on TV. And for that, I'd rather not be involved with it,
Yeah.
But we have people backstage who have loose lips, and that's what happens. And now we have created the scenario where we just have all the rumors and speculation, because that's all it is. I promise you, what you read is not necessarily true.
Right. And of course, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. You just see stuff out there, you're like, oh, there's something going on there.
In this day and age, people do, especially if the main credible sources nowadays is TikTok or Twitter. So,
yeah, that's where everybody gets their information now. Of course, we're talking to Ricky Starks, absolute Ricky Starks. AEW All Out is happening this Sunday. You can still grab tickets, AEWTix.com. Ticketmaster, you can watch it on pay-per-view. So this is kind of a fun question we like to ask everybody. Since Tony has coined this forbidden door talk, he's coined that phrase. Do you want to showcase your talents in places like New Japan, AAA, or other incredible companies around the world?
Oh yeah, for sure. New Japan, I've gone on record to say that Naito would be a very great opponent to have. You know, in Mexico, if this was like, I don't know, what, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have definitely said La Sombra, but I can do that now since he already works for AEW. So those would probably be the main ones that I would think of. I'm trying to think of some other ones, Forbidden Door style, New Japan primarily. That's really it. I'm not big into like the I'm gonna cross over here and wrestle. Like it's all
Right.
it's all whatever. I feel like whatever happens in terms of who I come across, that's what was meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's cool nonetheless to see some of these matchups that people come up with or that have actually happened, especially for our last Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
Yeah, so we're those are exciting things because I mean, as fans, you can always sit here all day long and pick up dream matches. And of course,
I used to do it all the time.
I mean, you can play in the video games your dream matches, and now with AEW having a video game out, that's going to be fun as well once that game happens.
Yeah,
I keep seeing all the leak, well, not the leak photos. I keep seeing all the photos and the video gameplay, and I'm like, this looks great.
right.
And of course, me being a video game nerd, like I've already pre-ordered it through Amazon and everything else. I'm just waiting for it to get through the PS5. But we asked our listeners to ask questions for Ricky Starks, and this is the fun part of the show. So one of our listeners, Shelly C, who is at Shelly Speak Easy on Twitter, had this to ask you. You made your AEW pay-per-view debut at All Out 2020, and now 2 years later, you're having your first singles match on pay-per-view at All Out 2022. Fast forward 2 years from now to All Out 2024. Where do you see yourself in All Elite Wrestling, and where would you have hoped to have achieved by then?
Oh man, that's a great question. Well, I think it by 2024, I think I'll definitely be a world champion, and I'll definitely be in contention for that. I'll definitely be on a big stage wrestling, for the title, defending it, or if not defending it, competing for it and winning it. But yeah, that's where I kind of see myself. I don't see it. I don't see, it honestly, 2024 is kind of a long time. I don't know why she just didn't give me 2023, but I digress. But no, I think by 2024 I'll be primed up, be ready. I just hate the idea of waiting. That's all.
I don't blame you there. Well, speaking of waiting, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got to get ready to get this weekend. So one last thing before we let you go, where's the best place people can find you at online social media? Where's the best place you want to tell people?
Easy. Okay, so before I start, it says Ricky Stark, and I was in control of putting my display name in, and I promise you, I did add the S. So I don't know why it did not show up there. But you can find me on Twitter at StarkmanJones, or you can find me on my Instagram, which is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and that's at StarkyBaby. Those are the two spots you can find me. If it doesn't have my verified check to it, do not respond to those asking for you to send them money or whatnot, because I don't want to hear you complain on Twitter about how you got ripped off by this fake account when,
The blue check's there.
The blue check is there, and that is the purpose of the blue check, is to make sure we filter out these fake accounts looking for money. I will never ask any fan or anybody for money, even if I'm at my last dollar, okay? Just put that in the sheets for me. You'll never hear Ricky Stark's panhandle for money.
You heard it right there. So if it's not a blue check mark and it's in your DMs, just completely ignore it.
Ignore it.
Don't look at it. Don't even respond to it.
Just report it.
Well, absolute Ricky Starks, it's an honor to have you on the show again. Of course, we had you on not too long ago. A lot of things have changed for the good, and looking forward to you getting that dub on Sunday against Powerhouse Hobbs, and then you go on to claiming gold and get that AEW World Championship belt.
World supremacy.
Yes, sir. Taking over the world.